All you don't know, it have choice now. They say a long time, you know. It have plenty companies that provide internet and cable services.
What is consumer power? And do you know what that power means in the telecommunications and broadcasting sectors? This was one of the topics presented and discussed at TATT's 29th ICT Open Forum. Heading the discussion were representatives from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Telecommunication Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and the FCC's Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau via Skype. The forum dealt with and identified who the consumer and the service provider is, what is consumer awareness, and how the practice of general consumer awareness is closely related to consumer awareness in telecommunication, the rights and responsibilities of the consumer, service-related challenges, resolution methods both locally and internationally, consumer protection and the law, and TATT's initiative to increase and promote telecommunication education and awareness. The first contributor was Mr. Stephen Tang Nian, who is a member of the Board of Directors at TATT.
Welcome to TATT's 29th ICT Open Forum titled Consumer Power in the Telecommunications and Broadcasting Sectors. Today's forum is the formal launch of TATT's consumer education campaign titled You Don't Know What You Don't Know, which will run until the end of 2019. The aim is to generate awareness, discussion, and inquiry among consumers of telecommunications and broadcasting services in relation to pricing, terms and conditions of service, and general consumer rights. The objectives of the campaign are: 1, to inculcate a culture of alertness and carefulness among local consumers of telecommunications and broadcasting services towards making more informed choices, which should result in providers being more careful of engaging practices which can negatively impact consumers. 2, to widen awareness of TATT's consumer protection rule and complaint facility. The title and some of the content are colloquialized in a bid to reach all consumers as we discuss issues surrounding the provisions of services of which they may or may not be aware.
The quest for consumer awareness is a global one, with problems between service providers and consumers being similar worldwide. Attendees also got a glimpse of the problems encountered in the US and how similar these were to the ones experienced locally via a Skype conference.
To my colleague, James Brown, who is one of the experts here at the FCC, who actually also, among other things, assisted devising the complaint system that we use here at the FCC.
In the US, there are, on average, 29,000 complaints per month, of which 10,000 of them being made via phone calls. However, these statistics are for complaints that reach FCC's Consumer and Governmental Affairs Bureau, and not the total problems faced between service providers and consumers. Representing the Consumer Affairs Division of the Ministry of Trade and Industry was Ms. Bernadine Rawlins, whose contribution added a slightly different perspective on consumer awareness.
As a consumer, we have rights as well as we have responsibilities. I don't expect if I'm using an iron, the cord would be easily caught afire. I don't expect the toy that we will purchase for our children, the material that it is used is not safe for them. We also have the right to complain. We have the right as a consumer to go back to the store and make a complaint. We have the right to redress. And when I talk about redress, I mean you make a complaint on the refrigerator you purchase. You have the right, if something goes wrong with that item, it is considered to be defective, you have the right to get redress. We have the right to choose. In our marketplace, there is a wide variety of products, different price, different brand. As a consumer, we have the right to choose. We have the right to information. So for example, we go to the store to make a purchase. We have the right to get the required information with respect to terms and conditions, prices, warranties, and all of this, we have the right to that information during our purchase.
Adding to the list of challenges outlined were questions from the audience where consumers sought out answers for their real-world problems.
That is one thing. Now, because consumer affairs, you mentioned that you have to have your receipt, but people are providing you now with a printed receipt from on thermal paper. Yes. And the thermal paper is fade. so by the time you have to go back and redress now, let us assume it have a 6 months warranty. You pull out your receipt, oops, it's nearly blank because the ink fade.
So you see sex, you get your receipt, if you know it's going to fade, you have the phone, take a picture, store it as the case may be. It will hold, right? Okay, with respect to
Someone asked on pension.
What about the Me Too pensioners? But I mean, we'll address that issue.
The 29th ICT Open Forum not only dealt with consumer matters related to telecommunication, but expounded on the importance of general consumer awareness. One such example came from Mrs. Trevon Clark Ferguson, who is an economist too at TATT. And as the following story suggests, it isn't just about solving problems, but rather creating a healthy consumer environment through basic vigilant practices.
Before coming up here, I had an example of utilizing the legislation this was the food industry. And there's a pizza place that I used to frequent, and after work, and they used to offer this, either it was a calzone or a personal pan pizza with a drink. And every time I went in, they said, the drink is no longer available, that was the lunch special. And it really infuriated me. Now, I could have simply bought a drink, but I said, there's a single mother with 3 who's coming in to split up that pizza and split up that drink. I need to ensure that that person is getting that drink. And I did this about 3 times, and I always went in and had to argue and get the drink. So when you know your legislation, you'll get your service.
As the 29th ICT Open Forum on Consumer Awareness concluded, patrons left empowered regarding their role in consumer awareness practices. They also got a more comprehensive look at what the Telecommunication Authority of Trinidad and Tobago does and is continually doing. Some of the information shared included learning more about services before signing a contract, understanding when you accept mediocre services, you are teaching the service provider how to treat you, the consumer, exercising your right and power of choice, acknowledging that consumer awareness should be a lifestyle rather than a last resort to solving consumer and service providers' conflicts. And last but not least, educate yourself about all things consumer-related by attending workshops, reading print media, and looking at social media broadcasts hosted by the various regulatory bodies. And remember, you have the power to shape the kind of service you want tomorrow, starting today.
Boy, you're right, yes? That's our responsibility as consumers. You don't know what you don't know, eh?